We're about to get ready for the second race in the National Formula 4 Championship. With me is Graham Brunton racing driver Sebastian Melrose. Good to see you, buddy.
Yeah, good to see you as well. Good to see you.
So obviously the first weekend of the championship is always a tough one, but here at Silverstone it was wet yesterday. It's a lot drier now. That's going to make it a lot closer.
Yeah, it is. Yeah. Silverstone's always fun, wet or dry. But now that they've resurfaced it, there's actually not a huge difference in lines. You can probably obviously like roll in a bit hotter around corners and stuff like that, but yesterday was a good day, and I just want to repeat the same pace as I had yesterday, if not, a lot quicker. But I'm confident. I'm comfortable.
When you've got the first 6 or 7 rows separated by about a second, it must be really difficult to try and find an advantage over the 3 or 4 guys ahead of you. Where do you find that time?
Well, I mean, this is hardcore racing. There's no doubt about it. It is wheel to wheel and gearbox to nose cone, really. But you just have to wait until really somebody makes a mistake or push somebody into a mistake. That's kind of the only way you can take advantage of somebody's pace. Especially like once you get into like the top 15 of drivers, it is all about just making sure you're in the mix and waiting on a mistake happening from another driver.
Well, 2 decades ago, Jenson Button won this championship and went on to Formula 1. Do you think there's somebody on the grid like here who could do that? Maybe you?
Yeah, exactly. I was just about to say, I'd like to think me, but my dream lies in IndyCar. I'd like to be in IndyCar. Oh, I wouldn't turn down an F1 drive, but I just want to get to the top. That's what I'm here for. I love this sport. I love driving. I couldn't ever imagine doing anything else in my life, and it's what I want to achieve.
And of course here in Formula 4 you learn so much about setup, about personal discipline, about how to get the last out of yourself in the car. Yeah. Such a great formula to learn from. Yeah,
exactly. We were just discussing that actually with the team boss there, Graham. And this morning we were just setting up brake bias. And obviously we started off qualifying wet, so I was turning the brake bias to the rear, and then obviously the race had a dry line, so I was doing it to the front. And it turns out that I'd set it absolutely perfectly, just with the feeling through my bum, really. So, I mean, you do get the feeling through your own body. There's no computers or stuff to help you. So I'm confident if I move up a category, I'd be able to do a good job in it.
Well, fantastic to talk to you, Sebastian. Thank you for giving us the insight. Thank you.
Good to talk to you as well. Thank you.
There are drivers all across the grid. We're going to talk to a few of the drivers in the midfield. Well, in the midfield in Formula 4s, it's just as close as at the front. So, having spoken to a few of the drivers at the sharp end of the grid, we'll talk to Hugo Bentley-Ellis. Hugo, good to see you.
Good to see you too.
So, talk us through how the weekend's been going so far.
Really good, I think. In qualifying, we did all right. It took a bit of time to get going, and then it rained, so I didn't get the full out of qualifying, but I think really good for my first race in the car.
But within a second of pole position must keep you, very, very positive about the way things are going.
Yeah, it's just all a learning curve, isn't it? And
so, having come into Formula 4 for the first time, what's the first thing that really grabs you about driving this car compared to some of the other machinery you've been in?
Really hard to drive. It's got no grip, and obviously we don't have aerodynamics, so it's all on the driver.
Does that teach you a lot about how to improve, though, as a competitor, when you've got just the raw machinery to rely on? Do you find you're bringing more out of yourself?
Yeah, I think it makes you a better driver. It makes you know what the car's got to feel like. So if you change something on the car, it's a lot more drastic than if you have driver aids, if you know what I mean.
Fantastic. How much progress do you think you can make in this second race of the weekend?
Well, I'd like to finish 8th for the reverse grids, which will be really good for my first race.
Okay, well, we'll hopefully see you in the top 8. Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's see who else we can find. We've got a few drivers down here on the grid. Jack Wolfenden just getting himself into position. Let's go and talk to one of the original stars of karting. Just try and figure out where Jack Wolfenden's going before I get run over by him. First weekend of the year, that would be funny, wouldn't it? Let's go and talk to Josh Smith, who's been settling himself well into the world of Formula Ford racing. Josh, good to see you, buddy. How are things?
A bit grim at the moment, if I'm totally honest. Yeah, not ideal, but we're struggling with engine power, really. Massively, so we've made a few changes. Whether they'll make a difference or not, I don't know, but it's looking like we're going to have to make the best of a bad situation. So I'll be going in hard on the first few laps to try and make as many places as I can and strike while the iron's hot. But while people are napping and all the rest of it, and then see how it pans out and try and hold it together.
Well, this is where your karting prowess really comes into its own, because in Formula Fords you end up getting into that sort of close neck battle with other drivers. You can really bring it out of yourself. Yeah,
I think generally in my driving style that's a strong point anyway, so I'll be trying to pull out all the stops in this race for sure. So
can we see you make up time to get yourself up towards the top 6?
Top 6, well, I think top 6 might be a bit optimistic, but I never know. We'll see how the car performs. It might make a world of difference what the changes we've made. But I'm struggling to see it. But I'll certainly be trying to. I reckon I can be P9 on the first few laps.
Okay, well, hopefully we'll see you make some progress forward, Josh. Good luck with the rest of the weekend.
Thank you very much. Cheers.
Well, while we're down on the starting grid, getting ourselves ready for the second of the Avon Tyres Formula Ford National Championship races of the weekend, hopefully we'll be able to grab a word with one of the guests attending the race meeting. It's Dario Franchitti popping in and having a look at old friends at Graham Brunton.
How are we doing?
Yeah, really well indeed. I mean, it's great to see you back in the Formula Ford paddock. You just can't get away from these things, can you?
No, absolutely not. I was trying to get Seb to give me a 5 minutes around the track, see what I could do. No, I just came up to see what Seb's doing today, and watch a bit of Formula Ford racing, some of the historic stuff too.
But of course, this is where you started your motor racing career in these cars, and it led you to the world of the Indy 500. So hopefully, for someone on the grid, you can do the same.
Yeah, absolutely. I actually missed Formula Ford. I did Vauxhall Junior. Never got to do the festival, any of that stuff. But it's the best racing, isn't it? I mean, you look at the Walter Hayes, you look at the Formula Ford Festival, you look at really the Scottish Championship, the National Championship. It's such fantastic racing, and yeah, there's that part of me I always think, I wouldn't mind a wee go.
And of course the Vauxhall Junior cars you raced were very similar in style, because there was very low aero, very low grip in the rubber, so it was a similar experience, and you can kind of speak on your own past endeavours as to how these drivers will actually learn.
Yeah, absolutely no aero at all, which means you can get right behind the car. There's none of this wake nonsense. You can just, you can run 3-4 wide, very low grip, car sliding around a lot. I'm trying to persuade Graham to restore my Vauxhall Junior right now so we can take it out for a little spin. It's sitting in the garage. It's been looking at me for about 10 years now, so it'd be nice to get it restored and head out.
Quite nice to come and do some demos at the Silverstone Classic a bit later in the year, maybe.
Yeah, it would be fun to do. I think I'd like to do it somewhere quiet so I don't embarrass myself.
Well, it's great to see you here at the Formula Ford race. Hopefully we'll give you a good show.
Sounds good, thank you.
Here is the grid, and this is also the result for yesterday's race for reference as well. So Joey Foster and Michael Moyers, as I mentioned, on row 1. Niall Murray and Josh Fisher make up row 2. Jamie Thorburn and Luke Cooper on row 3. Then Rory Smith and Stuart Goff on row 4. With Michael Eastwell, impressive youngster, made his debut last year. He's on row 5 alongside Matt Round-Garrido. Jack Wolfenden and Seb Melrose are next up on row 6. Row 7, Hugo Bentley-Ellis making his debut, and Joshua Smith. John Spencer and Daniel O'Brien are on row 8. Jay Bridger and John Ferguson on row 9. And George McDonald and Carter Williams rounding out the top 20. Then it's Nico Gruber and Jonathan Brown, James Scott Murphy and Pascal Montbaron, James Clark and Sebastian Job, David Maloney and Richard Morris with Simon Fleet and Vincent Jay. The one other runner is Sam Street, who will start at the back of the grid. So the story of yesterday's race: Joey Foster won the race by a second, which is an absolute age in Formula 4 1600 racing terms, but that doesn't really do the race justice, because throughout the entire race, Joey, Michael Moyers and Niall Murray, the top two finishers, were locked in combat, wheel to wheel pretty much throughout. The lead changed hands a few times, the podium positions changed over almost every lap, and it was only really in the last 3 laps or so, when Michael and Niall started really fighting for second place, that Joey Foster was able to pull a bit of a gap, get his head down and pull out into a little bit of a lead. Behind, the battling was even more intense. Josh Fisher, Jamie Thorburn, Luke Cooper, Rory Smith, Stuart Goff, Michael Eastwell, Matt Garrido were all tied together by a very short piece of string for the entire 15-minute duration of the race. And again, positions changing lap by lap, so it's going to be quite a job keeping up with every positional change inside the top 10 in this race, inside the top 3 even, let alone throughout the entire 31-car grid. It will be another 15-minute race as well, so short, sharp action. They completed 14 laps, excuse me, in yesterday's race, so we'll expect a similar distance, although it was a damp track yesterday, so the pace should be quicker today. We've still had no rain, touch wood, this morning, so track conditions out there cold but dry, and actually the cold air temperature means that the engine performance is a little bit more efficient. This is actually prime conditions for some really, really fast lap times. So Joey Foster is the black car on pole position, the white car with the blue bottom half, that is Josh Fisher, Niall Murray the white with the orange and blue flashes, and then everyone else filing in behind, and there is number 81 car, a little bit further back down the order, number 81 being Josh Fisher, so fourth on the grid for him, he's the all blue machine. And Jamie Thorburn, the Thorburn name should be synonymous really with Formula 4 1600 racing, so too the Cooper name of Luke Cooper alongside Luke Cooper at the wheel of car number 6. Cars then grinning up, which will take a moment or two to get them all in position, and then we will be off for 15 minutes. That will fly by here for the National Formula Ford 1600 Championship, round number 2 of the championship that has proved to be a breeding ground for future Formula 1 stars, single-seater races, but also drivers that have gone on to have successful careers in sports cars, GT racing. The great thing about Formula Ford is that it really teaches you about racecraft, about car control. The cars, as I said earlier on, no aerodynamic aids. They also run on grooved tyres. They don't have those sticky racing slick tyres to plant them onto the ground, so the cars move around a lot, and when you're dealing with that in close quarters combat, you learn an awful lot about where to position your car in a race situation. So the green flag has been flown at the back of the grid. We are about ready to go racing here for round number 2 of the Avon Tyres National Formula 4 1600 Championship. The lights go out and a mega start by pole sitter Joey Foster. He will have an uncontested lead down towards turn number 1. Michael Moyers slots into second place there, the white and blue car. Niall Murray, I think, is still third. Fourth is Josh Fisher, so they've got away in grid order with Jamie Thorburn in 5th as well. A few cars running wide further back, but we're already seeing our first challenge, and it's Niall Murray on the inside of Michael Moyers for second place. Down into Beckett's corner, careful not to lock wheels here. They just about keep away from each other. Do we get them safely through Beckett's though? That's the next question. Some of the pre-1990 cars running further back, they run within the a separate class for themselves, the clubman's classes, but the leading cars make their way down the Wellington straight with side by side for the race lead, and around the outside goes Michael Moyers. What a move from Moyers, he takes the lead, and Niall Murray comes steaming around the outside of the lot of them. He won't get the lead, but I think he's going to get through into second place, and Moyers leads the way. Murray and Joey Foster debating second place for the time being, and Foster will hang on. So race leader is Michael Moyers, second Joey Foster, third Niall Murray, fourth place is actually Jamie Thorburn now, ahead of Josh Fisher in 5th, and 6th place the red and white car is Luke Cooper. The slipstream starts to take effect again though, and Niall Murray gets up the inside here of Joey Foster for second place into Cobb's corner. Joey trying to turn in, cold tyres as well, remember, but they just about keep it clean. Lots of cars running out over the edge of the track. If they do that too often, they will get pinged for exceeding the track limits, and they could have time added onto their race. Down in towards Maggots and Beckett's we go. Jamie Thorburn tucked right in behind the white, blue and orange car of Niall Murray. That's 4th and 5th positions as they make their, 3rd and 4th positions, excuse me, as they make their way through Beckett's and pat down the Wellington straight. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10 cars minimum, you could say, are involved in this lead gaggle as they make their way down towards Beckett's. Who jinks out of line first? It's Thorburn looking up the inside of Murray, who's looking up the inside of Foster, and they're all trying to defend from Josh Fisher behind. It's very difficult though when you're in a big queue of cars like this. You really want to focus all of your attentions on attacking in front, but you know that if you go for a move that doesn't work, you will lose ground. Spin for car number 46, which is James Scott Murphy. Don't know whether he was assisted into that spin, but that's down at Brooklands. Thankfully doesn't stall the car, and the Oldfield Motorsport driver gets going again. fan out again across the start-finish line. 2 laps completed, 12 3/4 minutes still to go. And they turn their way through the dauntingly fast Copse corner. It's Thorburn this time that runs wide, but far from gaining an advantage. It might have allowed Josh Fisher up the inside of him. I think it has. No, not quite. Thorburn will hold on to 4th, I believe. This is for 2nd. Yeah, Joey Foster holds on to that, and Thorburn does hold on to 4th. There's Fisher, the blue number 81 car, in 5th, and Luke Cooper gets a run on him out to the Wellington straight too. Favour start though. Yep, all cleanly away, even some of the slightly older machinery towards the tail end of the field. And what a start it was from Joey Foster. He absolutely nailed that and kept the lead down towards Copse corner. You can see actually through the first corner, they were very, very well behaved. That was the spin for James Scott Murphy. Unfortunately, couldn't quite catch whether that was through assistance or self-inflicted. Here are the leaders, but the leaders in this case cover the top 11 or 12 cars. Any one of them feels they could still win this race, but at the moment it is Michael Moyers that leads the way. Joey Foster is harassing him down towards Copse corner though, goes to the outside line on the way in. Now he's trying to get more momentum out of the corner to attack down to Beckett, but Michael Moyers has seen it all before. Sam Street is in the pit lane, unfortunately. The Burnham-on-Sea driver in his 1992 Swift, one of the one of the post-89 cars, one of the earlier post-89 cars running in the Clubman's class. That appears to be a mechanical issue rather than accident damage. Now we've got a bit of a breakaway here, haven't we? The top 5 cars, Moyers, Foster, Murray, Fisher and Cooper escaping, and now they're going to do battle, now that they've got a bit of a gap over the rest of the field. Any change of position into Brooklands this time? No, despite lots of efforts to make an advancement of position, there was no change. Oh, Joey Foster's car looks very oversteery, doesn't it? I've noticed a few times through this corner Luffield and also the other tight right-hander at Beckett. He's got a lot of oversteer built into that car, of course, because they don't have any wings they can adjust to help the car turn in. If he's got a bit of understeer in the car, he might have changed suspension settings or whatnot to try to help the car rotate through the tight corners. But maybe he's gone a little bit too far. He's holding on to 2nd place for the time being, though. It's Matt Ralgarido there, the white and red XL liveried car, trying to make ground. He is down in 8th place, just ahead of Michael Eastwell, who started 9th and is still in 9th at the moment. Well, forget that 5-car breakaway that we had. We've now, I think, got pretty much the entire top 10 cars together again. That, I think, is Sam Street still back in the pit lane, isn't it? They're looking at the gearbox area at the back of the car. Hard to see exactly what the issue is, as here comes Niall Murray for 2nd place, sweeping round the outside there of Joey Foster. That gives him the inside line for Luffield, and that gives him 2nd place. Beautiful move. You can tell that these are the veterans of Formula Ford 1600 racing. They all know how to race each other cleanly, and they know how to overtake and race each other here at Silverstone, such a popular racetrack for Formula Ford racing. The fastest lap, incidentally, has been set by the man in 4th place, Josh Fisher, a 101.996, and that's a good lap, compares with yesterday's fastest lap of a 103.4, so that shows the improvement in time. Someone else in the pit, or leaving the pit lane there. That was the car that had the spin, I think, wasn't it? That was James Scott Murphy, so any damage that was sustained has been fixed. Leaders turn their way through Beckett's now. Michael Moyers now has Niall Murray chasing him down, so... Of course, these were the 3 drivers that finished in the top 3 positions yesterday, but not in this order. It was Foster that took the victory. It's Moyers that's leading now, but Niall Murray tries to sell him the dummy, goes from the outside to the inside, back to the outside again. He's desperately late on the brakes, is Niall Murray. Can he make this move stick again? Round the outside to get the inside for Luffield. He's got his nose up the inside. Moyers can't turn in. Now he can. He's just about got clear, so he holds on to the race lead, but that was the first real attempt from Niall Murray to take the race lead away from Michael Moyers, who hasn't quite led from lights out, but he's led every lap but one so far, has Michael. They flash across the line, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 of them quicker than you can say, with just about actually Jack Wolfenden down in 9th place, still part of this group. Back out of Copse. Any one of these positions could change at any moment, but it's Niall Murray who looks the raciest at the moment, doesn't it? He wants the race lead, and he goes up the inside towards Beckett's. Brilliant move from Niall Murray into the race lead, or is he? They both run out wide, and Joey Foster tries to make it 3 abreast on the exit of the corner. This is Formula 4 1600 racing at its best. Niall Murray and Michael Moyers wheel to wheel for the lead. Foster slips back into line, but he's already got Josh Fisher up the inside of him. Down towards Beckett's they go. Who gets the race lead? It's anybody's guess at the moment. moment. They're still side by side, but I think that Moyes might just have done enough to hang on. Yes, he has. Michael Moyes holds on to the race lead. Murray in second. Josh Fisher is up into third, though. So race 1 winner Joey Foster is slipping backwards, side by side for 5th. That's the number 6 car of Luke Cooper, who's trying to fight them all off, and he can't, because sweeping round the outside, well, Fisher, he just about holds on to it, but Matt Garrido is also there into the back of the car in front of him. That was Josh Smith that he got into the back of across the start-finish line. Deep breath, everyone. We're only halfway through this race, and Niall Murray is attacking for the lead again, I think, down towards Beckett's. He looked to have a good run. That is the number 46 car of James Scott Murphy back in the pit lane, unfortunately. But what's going on for the lead? No, it's still Moyes. Murray second, Fisher third, 4th place Foster. Cooper is in 5th. Then it's Josh Smith in 6th. Sorry, Rory Smith, excuse me, in 6th. With Matt Garrido in 7th. That is your lead pack, who again fan out into 6 or 7 different lines into Beckett's, and this time I think Niall Murray's done it. He's even later on the brakes than he has been before, but he's onto the dirty part of the road. There's no grip there, he can't keep his foot in it, and still Michael Moyes is hanging on to this lead. Teflon coated is Michael Moyes in this race. Nothing that either Niall Murray or earlier on Joey Foster has thrown at him has been enough to usurp him from the race lead, and so it is still the white and blue car, car number 125, that leads the way. Michael Moyes down in towards Copse Corner, defending the inside line. Does that give Murray a run on the exit? Possibly. Moyes is a bit wide. Murray's up the inside. I think he might have done it this time. Niall Murray, yes! Niall Murray into the race lead, and this could open the floodgates for everyone else to come past Michael Moyes as well. Up the inside comes Josh Fisher. He goes second. Can he close the door on Luke Cooper? Oh, he does, but only just. And so Luke Cooper seconds into 4th. Moyes goes from 1st down to 3rd. You can see that coming. Moyes defended into Copse Corner. That was always going to leave him vulnerable to attack on the run down towards Beckett's, but still they're all over each other. Here comes Fisher around the outside. Murray defending the lead. Luke Cooper's buying into it as well, trying to get 3rd place away from Michael Moyes. Hold your breath till they all get through the corner. Yes, and Luke Cooper is slowly but steadily working his way to the front. The red and white number 6 car of Luke Cooper started 6th. He was still 6th at the end of the first lap, but he is picking them off one by one. He's bringing Joey Foster back through with him as well. Joey's up into 4th, with Michael Moyes 5th, and Matt Garrido up into 6th. James Scott Murphy still in the pits. I fear there may be damage from that contact earlier on, and that looks like it could be the end of his race, unfortunately. We believe, thanks for the news down from the pit lane, we believe that might be engine trouble, possibly related to contact on the first lap. Right, let's try to have a stab at giving you the race order. Niall Murray leads, Josh Fisher is second for now, Luke Cooper is third, Joey Foster is 4th, Michael Moyes, who was leading a couple of minutes ago, is down to 5th, Matt Garrido is 6th, and Rory Smith, who was a part of this earlier on, is now down to 7th, but he's about to start closing in, I think. Weaving this way and that, the crocodile goes, and it's now Josh Fisher who wants the lead away from Niall Murray, and it's Joey Foster who wants 3rd place away from Luke Cooper, if at all possible. It isn't possible on this occasion, though. The red and white car of Luke Cooper hangs on to a podium position. This is building up beautifully for a grandstand finish. Nice battling further back, meanwhile. Number 88 car there of Sebastian Melrose. This is just outside the top 10, so we've got the number 38 machine of Hugo Bentley-Ellis in 11th. Seb Melrose behind him. 2 cars out wide before. That's 35 and 7. So 7 is John Ferguson. 35 is John Svensson coming together. I told you it would be impossible to keep up with everything going on in this race, didn't I? Because we've been focusing quite rightly on this intense battle for the lead, but there are battles like this going on right the way through, from 1st down to 31st. And through Beckett's come the leaders. They're actually single file for the moment, and we haven't had a position change for over a lap, which is very odd, but I'm sure they're building up. With only 4 minutes remaining in the race, this is building up to quite the crescendo, isn't it? Here comes Josh Fisher. Josh Fisher weaving this way and that one, trying to outfox Niall Murray. Oh, he locks him, he gets into the back of Niall Murray. Damage to the front of Fisher's car, and it holds him up. And Luke Cooper comes through into 2nd place. It's another place game for Luke Cooper. Into 3rd place goes Joey Foster, and a damaged car now for Josh Fisher. The nose cone has quite a hole in it. This is a replay. He tried to jink to the inside at the last second, misjudged it slightly, and tagged the back of Niall Murray's car. Now, Niall will be a bit concerned about that, because the gearboxes and the exhaust, of course, are quite vulnerable to damage from that sort of contact. But Niall, for the time being, seems okay. So Murray leads, Cooper 2nd, Foster now back into 3rd. Don't count him out, you can never count Formula Ford legend Joey Foster out. But here comes Luke Cooper for the race lead. It's the outside line for Beckett's, though. Murray snatches a break. Does he run a bit wide at the apex? No, he throws it in at the curve. But Cooper does get a better run from the corner. He's got to pull out. He's got to pull out of the slipstream and give this a go. go, but the only option he was presented with was the outside line down the Wellington Straight. Can he brave it out? We've seen how late Niall Murray's been on the brakes down here. Can either Luke Cooper or Joey Foster outbrake him? The answer is no. And so they settle back into line. Michael Moyes is back into fourth. It looks like Josh Fisher's damage is fairly serious because he's actually disappeared from view, hasn't he? Michael Eastwell's car also has damage to the nose, but we have definitely lost Josh Fisher. So car number 81 that we saw have that contact with Niall Murray a lap ago has disappeared from this lead group. Back down the... Oh, and look at him! Contact again! Cooper into the back of Murray this time as he tried to get up the inside into Cobb's corner. It's just wheel-to-wheel contact, but the tyre smoke makes it look very dramatic indeed. 2.25 minutes to go, but it's one of those races you don't want to end, isn't it? Fantastic racing action from the Formula Ford 1600 National Championship, sponsored by Avon Tyres. All of the cars running on Avon Tyres, of course, for this championship. He's joining in the front as well, isn't he? Car number 27 was the national champion. Matt Garrido was third in the points in the Northern Championship last year. Nice battle here. That's car number 13 a bit further back, which is Sebastian Job, trying to make a move. He's outside of the top 20 as the leaders. Guess what? They're side by side again, and it was Joey Foster that trying to get past Luke Cooper to no avail. Right, by my reckoning, we've got 2 more laps of this, so buckle up everyone, because this is going to be quite the grandstand finish. We've still got 8 drivers who are separated by less than 2 seconds. This is why we love Formula Ford 1600 racing. Oh, side by side again. Cooper goes to the outside, almost loses second place as a result of that. Matt Garrido tries to get on the inside of Michael Moyes. That might have actually worked, for 4th position. Matt Garrido, the 27 car, as side by side again for the lead. Cooper goes to the outside line. Watch for Joey Foster. Joey Foster will take full advantage of this, get to the inside of Cooper through Beckett. He'll show him the edge of the road on the exit of the corner. They almost lock wheels once, twice. They're still wheel to wheel, but Foster does not have the slipstream because Niall Murray has gone to the inside of the track. Foster's trying to bully his way back into line. This is going to get interesting down into Brooklands. Cooper's back around the outside of Niall Murray, and Luke Cooper leads. Luke Cooper takes the race lead away around the outside, just hangs onto the car, and he's in front. Michael Moyes is back into 2nd place, and Niall Murray has gone from 1st to 3rd with 1 lap to go. What a move that was from Luke Cooper. I didn't think anybody could outbrake Niall Murray down in towards Brooklands, and Luke Cooper did it. Fantastic. Luke Cooper then just has to hold on for 1 more lap, but that is going to be a lot easier said than done because Michael Moyes and Niall Murray are right back with him. Murray goes round the outside of Moyes, retakes 2nd place through Cobb's corner, and now he's got just under a lap to try to get the race lead back. What's going to happen? Beckett is a possible overtaking opportunity. Defensive line will be taken by Cooper. Matt Garrido, meanwhile, is going round the outside here. Michael Moyes, he's looking for a podium position out of all of this, but we'll focus on the leaders. Niall Murray setting himself up for the run down the Wellington Straight. He's in the slipstream, hugging the white line down the inside is Luke Cooper, but Murray is good on the brakes down here. He goes to the outside. He has made this move work before. Cooper outbrakes him though. Luke Cooper hangs on to it. Niall Murray stays 2nd. Moyes is 3rd-ish. Yes, hangs on, I think, just about, with Matt Garrido 4th and Joey Foster 5th. It has been a sensational 15 minutes of National Formula Ford 1600 racing, and it looks as though Luke Cooper, with a dramatic penultimate lap overtake, will win round number 2 of the Avon Tyres Formula Ford 1600 National Championship. What a race! Niall Murray is 2nd, Michael Moyes is 3rd, Matt Garrido gets 4th out of nowhere, Joey Foster, our race 1 winner, is 5th, 6th place then for Rory Smith, 7th Jack Wolfenden, 8th for Stuart Goff, and 9th for Mike Leeswell. The top 9 cars were covered by less than 1.5 seconds. What a race that was. Rounding out the top 10, by the way, is Nico Gruber, who started 21st on the grid. So Nico Gruber did a really good job. We didn't really get to check in with him that much, but that was a fantastic drive up through the order for him into the top 10.
Well, Luke, I think it's impossible to get that smile off your face. What a brilliant victory. And all 9 of you within a 1.5 seconds. Must be great to be at the top of that.
Oh, absolutely amazing. That's the best race of my life, and it was phenomenal. Every single lap it was action, working my way through the field. And as soon as I got to the front, complete different change, and trying to keep everyone behind me instead of going forward.
Well, talk us through that move at Brooklands on the penultimate lap as well. I mean, that's when the race was really won and lost. I mean, that was a knife edge. You could have got that so wrong, but you just nailed it perfectly.
Yeah, absolutely perfect. Slightly too late, and I could have ended up losing 3 places. And it was on the limit, but perfect.
Well, Niall, second position this time, much more impressive from your point of view, but also much more intense throughout as the race went on.
Yeah, much tougher race. You know, yesterday, again, I didn't have the pace with Joey, so I was just kind of sitting there hoping to stay ahead of Michael, and he passed me. But today, you couldn't just sit there at all. You had to just go flat out every single lap. So, yeah, really, really competitive. You could have been first, or you could have been seventh, depending on where someone passed you. So, yeah, really, really enjoyable. Got one better from yesterday today, so hopefully one better again now later on, take the win.
Well, Michael, third position. Okay, it's not second from yesterday, but I think that was a bit more enjoyable, wasn't it?
Yeah, like I said earlier, it's about as manic as a Formula Ford race gets. It's just like the Walter Hayes Trophy final in November last year. It's absolutely manic. You could have finished first or sixth or seventh quite easily. So, no, I'm really pleased with that. It's good points for the championship. P2 yesterday, P3 today. So, yeah, hopefully we can do something in race 3 because it'd be nice to leave with a win.
I was just going to say, maybe P1 this afternoon then?
Yeah, I hope so. I mean, it'd be great to leave with a win. Obviously, we're going to be starting P6, I think, so it's going to be hard work, but we'll make a few tweaks to the car and see what we can do.